The administration must make all of the policy decisions that recognize the importance of striking a balance between the profitability of American technology globally and national security. The globe is based on American norms, thus it is great for the U.S. that we are exporting American technology. Since Nvidia is an American business, our administration and government are interested in our success. It's so challenging to strike the correct balance, but they're doing a fantastic job. Nvidia has altered some of its chips to be sold and adhere to U.S. regulations after the U.S. banned the company from selling its most sophisticated AI processors to Chinese businesses in 2022. This year, Nvidia's stock has almost doubled as a result of the artificial intelligence boom. According to executives like Wang, the United States has to make greater investments in developing the sector's energy infrastructure in order to support the rising industry. Microsoft and Constellation Energy inked an agreement just last week to deploy nuclear energy to meet Microsoft's AI energy requirements. I asked Wang if he thought nuclear was the best course of action. As one of the energy sources and a sustainable energy source, nuclear is a fantastic way to go. There will be others. We will require energy from all sources and must eventually balance sustainability, cost, and availability. Now, as AI becomes a subject on the presidential campaign trail, I did ask Wang if he has been in contact with either of the candidates. He assured me that although he hasn't, he believes the next president will act in the best interest of the United States. Nvidia and a few other chip-related stocks had a rough morning. To discuss the factors behind some of these decreases, let's turn to Sima Modi. Sima, good morning. Hello, Carl. Good morning. China-related headlines appear to be hurting Nvidia's stock, which is currently down around 1.5%. While ByteDance is apparently forging forward with a Huawei processor to construct a new artificial intelligence model, Beijing is also urging its domestic IT companies to stop utilizing Nvidia chips. This is happening as the U.S. Commerce Department is anticipated to announce new policies in October that would further restrict China's access to American semiconductors, such as imposing limitations on the sale of memory chips. China continues to be a significant market for American chipmakers, and Chinese tech firms rely heavily on Nvidia. There have been rumors of Nvidia chips being smuggled into China and accessed by American cloud service providers like Microsoft and Amazon. Because of this, experts, including those at Bernstein, believe that additional limitations would undoubtedly be detrimental to the industry. After 3 weeks of straight gains, the Sensenig ETF is currently down at 1.5%. Sarah. All right, Sima, thank you. The general averages are suffering, particularly the NASDAQ, which is down slightly more than 0.1%. Nothing drastic, as Apple, for example, is gaining today and balancing it out. While the S&P is poor in tech, financials, consumer goods and materials, it is strong in real estate, utilities, healthcare, energy, and staples. Even if Nvidia is unable to ship its most potent AI processors to China due to U.S. export restrictions, the country continues to be a significant market for American chipmakers. The Chinese are even using American cloud providers like Amazon to obtain Nvidia's GPUs and smuggle its chips into China. Although the Chinese tech behemoth Huawei is working to develop its own AI processor, analysts think it falls short of Nvidia's current offerings. It's also said that Nvidia is developing a microprocessor designed specifically for China that conforms with the present export regulations in the United States. But as we've seen before, Beijing's pressure has been effective. For example, he and Caterpillar are seeing increased competition from Chinese enterprises in the U.S. industrial sector. Sima, does this seem a bit like you poke me, I'll poke you? Since the Huawei era a few years ago, we have been imposing limitations on Chinese goods. Is China really worried about Nvidia, or is it more of a I'll do it to you if you do it to me situation? That's right. The U.S. Commerce Court's decision to restrict U.S. memory chip shipments to China is actually just weeks away. To get to your point, while we naturally await the outcome of the presidential election, this might just be China's next move. Being strong on China has the support of both Democrats and Republicans. Brian, Sima, That enormous headline about Modi is merely another illustration of the tit-for-tat relationship between the United States and China. Seema, have a wonderful weekend. Thank you. I am aware that it is premature to discuss this company in particular, but at least it brings up the question of other businesses vying for a share of the AI market. How should we see these upstarts in comparison to industry titans like Nvidia? Indeed, Nvidia faces competition in a variety of sectors, which makes sense. All of the money is presently going to Nvidia. It's a huge potential opportunity. There are startups, hyperscalers creating their own goods, and other merchant vendors like AMD and Intel. It's challenging for many businesses since they lack the ecosystem. I think it's difficult if their argument is, we have a chip that's better than Nvidia, since Nvidia always produces a chip that's better than the one before it. It also comes with the accompanying ecosystem support and software. I will refrain from commenting on competitors, but they are now making every effort. So far, it's been a winner-take-all scenario in general. It appears to be Nvidia's game to lose, as I have stated previously. In a broader sense, the Nasdaq is suffering today, with Nvidia suffering the most, falling more than 3%. With chip firms Cerebras filing for an IPO, it may now face new competition. Today's Tech Check has a story on our Seema Modi. Hello, Seema. Harl, some of the largest tech companies like C2, Benchmark, and Altimeter Capital support Cerebras. Its CEO, Andrew Feldman, a former AMD executive, claims that its artificial intelligence processors for inference are less expensive than those made by Nvidia and AMD. According to Feldman, Cerebras wafers are more than 50 times larger than those of its competitors, which speeds up processing in contrast to the industry's fixation with smaller chips. The company's S1 shows that, despite not yet turning a profit, growth is quickening amid this AI surge, with sales in 2023 increasing by more than 200%. Among its clients are GSK, the U.S. government, and G42, a conglomerate in the United Arab Emirates that accounts for 87% of its sales in the first half of this year. Additionally, the S1 points out that relying on its partnership with G42 exposes it to risks like shifting regulations or shifts in demand from the state-backed tech company. Going up against a company like Nvidia, the industry leader in AI chips, is obviously no minor feat, and switching is expensive. The key question, according to Wall Street analysts, is whether Cerebras can land a sizable order from a hyperscaler that currently uses more well-known brands like Nvidia to develop their AI models. Taiwan Semiconductor is used by Cerebras to fabricate its chips, just like Nvidia and other companies. According to what I've been informed, the semiconductor company, which is 5 years old, intends to go public this autumn with a valuation of between $7 and $10 billion. A new wave of AI initial public offerings, IPOs, may result from this, according to some private tech investors. Among the several AI businesses emerging in this new era, Cerebras would be among the first to make their public appearance. For fresh IPO aspirants, the way it is received by investors in the public market will be a major clue. We've been waiting for initial public offerings, IPOs, and we finally know how to express it. I suppose you should be a chip rival to Nvidia in AI if you plan to go public. I'm grateful, Seema. Thank to everybody.